Seduction was the greatest seducer of other men's wives I have ever met. He was successful with all women. But there was a particular challenge about going for women with rich, powerful, wealthy, and aged husbands. I could never do him justice, so I'll let you tell him himself.
If I may say so myself, I'm the greatest seducer of other men's wives I've ever met. Now I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. I mean, the staggering figures speak for themselves. Now then, for those of you interested in playing this highly satisfying yet often dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper to take notes. I'm going to explain to you my methods. Now, in defense, married women may do likewise, but it will do them very little good if they are the chosen victim, for my method has never failed. Now, there are three vital characteristics needed in order to seduce another man's wife. They are patience, and still more patience. For those of you who feel as if they do not have the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling, perhaps rowing. Seducing isn't for you. Now then, in order to seduce a man's wife, you must, and I repeat, must, stay as far away from her as possible, paying her practically no attention at all. You will get to her through the husband. Now then, you are about to witness a demonstration, for as it happens, I am madly, deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement knowing she will enter this very garden in a few moments. Every fiber of my being tells me to wrap my arms around her, embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But notice how a true master works. I will be cool, almost to the point of freezing. Observe, my heart of hearts approaches.
Ah, Peter Semyonich. Fancy meeting you here.
Nikolai, you're looking well. Notice how I'm not looking at her.
Thank you. And you gay devil, you're always looking well. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vesna. Irina, I don't know what this charmer said to you, but I must warn you. He is a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you, Peter.
You exaggerate, Nicky. Madam, and you do.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not busy, why don't you walk with us?
You know, that's very kind of you, Nicky, but as a matter of fact, I am riveted to this spot. You see, a new love has entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she is out of my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? Like I said, be patient.
Fantastic. You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Suppose glorious. Suppose magnificent, and you will suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, Peter. And you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off. Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madam? Beautifully done, don't you think? I am sometimes awed by the work of a true professional. I mean, did you notice our eyes barely met? We hardly exchanged a word, yet how much she knows about me already. A, I'm a popular bachelor. B, a man in love, titillating to the romantic women. C, a gifted swordsman, a nice contrast to her sedentary husband. And D, and this is the most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. Now, quite frankly, at this point, she is disgusted by me. A, because I am a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I am shamelessly frank to my intentions. And C, because she doesn't think she's the one I'm in love with. Forgive me if I'm slightly overcome by my own deviousness. Yes, Now, the next step, hypnosis. Not hypnosis of the eyes, if you will, but hypnosis of the tongue. Similar to a snake moving in for the kill. Notice how I accidentally run into him, the husband, at the club.
Peter, you're looking glum. I take it your pursuit isn't going well?
Is that obvious? I'm doomed, Nikki, I'm doomed. I haven't seen her last I saw you and your lovely wife. And I eat less, I sleep little, I've had my collars taken in half an inch. Why do I spend my valuable youth chasing women I know I can never truly call my own? Oh, how I envy you.
Me? What is there about me that you envy?
Why, your wife, of course. Ooh, a woman like that, let me tell you.
What is it about her that fascinates you so?
Her grace, her quiet charm, oh, everything. But mostly it's the way she looks at you, Nikki. If only someone would look at me like that with such adoring and loving eyes. Just must send quivers through your body.
Quivers? No, not really.
I mean, a tingle, perhaps. Oh, don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you, Nikki.
Of course, by all means. I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nikki. Take that from a lonely bachelor and be glad fate gave you a woman like that.
Perhaps fate will be as kind to you.
That's what I'm counting on. Oh, good heavens, I'm late for a doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholia. Now then, say hello to your lovely wife for me, but I urge you, do not repeat a word of our conversation. It might damage her fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? Now there's still work to be done. That falls to my aid accomplice, the husband. By the way, I ran into Peter Semyonov today.
Oh, by the way, I ran into Peter Semyonov today.
Who?
Peter Semyonov, that attractive fellow. The bachelor, we met him in the gardens. You remember.
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
You may not think so when you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He seemed to feel that you are capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. Something about your eyes and the way you looked so adoringly. He certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on. Well, good night, my dear.
Good night. What else? What else did he have to say about me?
Peter?
Whatever the loathsome man's name is. What else did Peter Semyonov have to say about me?
Well, that's more or less it. What I told you.
But you said he went on and on.
He did.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, don't stop. Either go on and on, or let's go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me. How much he wanted someone to look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
Well, that day in the gardens. He must have been looking at you while you were looking at me. It sent a tingle through my whole body.
The way I looked at you?
Precisely, my dear.
But you were looking at him, so you couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because it made me nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't. I would rather you didn't tell me such stories. Are you planning to see him again soon?
Tomorrow for lunch.
Well, I would rather not be discussed over lunch. Tell him that. And at dinner, you can tell me what he said. Good night, Nick.
Good night, my angel.
Good night, my love. I am spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter at the very mention of my name. The very man she called loathsome not 2 moments ago. Yes. Now, all this was accomplished, mind you, while I was at home, taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. By the way, old man, I ran into Nekrasov the other day, the famous artist. Now, apparently he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince or something to paint the typical face of a Russian beauty. Now, he asked me to scope for models, of course, and I said I know just the woman, but I didn't dare ask her myself. What do you think of asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To model, of course. Oh, that head of hers. That lovely face. It would be a shame if that lovely face missed the opportunity to be immortalized for all the world.
For all the world? Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know, why don't you discuss it with her?
Well, I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Precisely, my dear. And that it would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words? You didn't leave anything out?
Oh yes, I left out that lovely face. He said, that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
He does go on, doesn't he? How many times did he say it? Once? Twice? What?
Let me think. It's hard to remember.
It's not important. But in the future, I wish you would write these things down.
Have you seen me near her? Has a single word been spoken to her? Has any correspondence happened between us at all? No, my dear pupils. Yet how she hangs on every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? Now, we apply this treatment for 2 to 3 weeks. Her resistance is weakening, weakening, weakening.
I think his mind is elsewhere, if you ask me. On some woman, from the looks of him.
What woman? Did he mention any woman in particular?
Oh no, he's too discreet for that. He'll protect her good name at any cost. Instead, he talks of you all day. Poor fool, I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
It's really none of our concern. Nikki, did you ask him to dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
The day after then?
Busy.
Next week? Next month? When? Doesn't the man eat?
He says he's involved in a very important project, and that it will be months before we can see him. He did say that with patience and persistence, good things will come to him. Oh, by the way, he thinks you should go on the stage.
The stage? Me? On the stage? Why in heaven's name?
Well, he said, hold on, I don't want to misquote.
No, take your time. Try to get it as accurately as possible.
Ah, yes. He said, with such a lovely face, sensitive. Sorry, I need my glasses. Here come. With such a lovely face, natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Oh my, he said that?
And then he says, ordinary demands don't exist for such women.
Nikki, I don't think I want to hear anymore.
With such an attractive appearance, it's a sin for her to be just a housewife.
Nikki, I implore you, please stop.
And then he says, if I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that?
Yes, right there.
And what did you say, Nikki? It's important I know what you said to him then.
Well, I said take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her.
Nikki, you mustn't discuss me with him anymore. I beg you not to mention my name to him ever again.
But I don't, my love. He's the one who keeps bringing up the subject. He actually accused me of not understanding you. He shouted at me, "She's an exceptional creature, strong, seeking a way out. If I were Turgenev, I would put her in a novel. The passionate angel, I would call it." A man is weird. Definitely weird.
He is delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and he calls me weird. I ask you. Now let's see what we have so far. The poor woman is definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. She is sure that I'm the only one who truly understands her. Her yawning, disinterested husband transmits my remarks, but it is my voice she hears, my words that sing in her heart. Ah yes, the sweet poison is doing its work. I am relentless. There is no room for mercy in the seducing business. Observe how deftly the final stroke is administered. For those of you weak of heart, I urge you, look away.
No, Nikki, I don't want to hear not another word from him, nothing.
But precisely, my love, that's what he said. He begged me to tell you nothing. He knew that because of your sensitive nature, it would bother you to hear of someone else's distress.
He's in distress?
Worse, he's gloomy, morose, morbid, in the depths of despair.
Oh no! But why? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. He says he has no real relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands him.
But doesn't he know that we understand him perfectly? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate him and commune with him daily? Doesn't he know how much we long to be with him? You and I.
I tried to make that clear. I again urged him to come home to dinner with me, but he says he can't face people. He can't stay home. He paces in the public gardens where we met him that night. Every single night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. Oh, by the way, we are invited to the Boscovex for dinner tomorrow night. Is 8 o'clock all right for you?
No. I'm visiting Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there at 9. Or a little after.
Please, no applause. I couldn't have done it alone. That honor falls to my aiding accomplice, the husband. He wooed her so successfully that there was no carriage that could bring her fast enough into my arms. She ran the entire way. Observe. Now then for the conclusion. You will understand if I ask you to busy yourself with your programs or such. These next few moments are private, and I am, after all, a gentleman. My dear, my angel, finally I can say the words that I've longed to—
No, not a word, not a sound, please. I couldn't bear it. Not until you've heard what's in my heart. For weeks now, I've been in torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse my passions, which I freely admit have been lying dormant these past 7 years. Whether you are sincere or not, you've awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity and I succumb. You bestir my thoughts of untold pleasures and I'm weakened. You attack my every vulnerability and I surrender. I am here, Peter Semyonich, if you want me. But let me add this. I love my husband dearly. He's not a passionate man, nor even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an even marriage, moderate and comfortable. And in accepting that condition and the full measure of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now knowing that once you take me in your arms, my marriage and my life with Nikki will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to make the choice. I rely on your strength of character. The option is yours, my dear Peter. Whichever one you choose will make me both miserable and eternally grateful. I beg you not to use me as an amusement, although even with that knowledge, I would not refuse you. I am yours to do as you will, Peter Semyonich. If you want me, open your arms and I will come to you. If you love me, turn your back and I will leave and never see or speak to you again. The choice, my dearest, sweetest love of my life, is yours. I await your decision. God bless you, Peter Semyonich. I wish life bring you the same happiness you've just brought me.
And from that day on, Peter Semyonich, the former seducer of other men's wives, turned his attentions to single, unmarried women only. Until one day, that perfect girl came along, and the confirmed bachelor settled down at last. Today, he lives a completely happy existence. Except when that dashing young officer comes along and tells him how attractive he finds his lovely young wife. Wait! Just kidding, there's not an alternative ending, but we do have an intermission now. 10 minutes, see you in a bit.